Let's move on now. Prime Minister Narendra Modi's remarks in China and South Korea about Indians being ashamed of being born in the country before his government came to power featured as one of Twitter's top trends under the hashtag Modi insults India last evening. Now here's the statement by the Prime Minister that has raised a storm. The opposition added fuel to the Twitter fire by saying that the Prime Minister has taken politics to an unthinkable low. Now, during an interaction with the Indian community in Shanghai on Saturday, Modi said, and I quote, and we later play out that reaction also, we are in the process of digging that out. Modi said, and I quote, earlier you felt ashamed of being born Indian, now you feel proud to represent the country. Indians abroad had all hoped for a change in government last year, unquote. The jibe, which was clearly targeted at the Congress, had backfired on social networking sites. It's not the first time Modi has taken on the Congress overseas. They featured in his speeches in France, Canada and South Korea. The BJP was quick to hit back, asking the Congress to first give advice to its own Vice President.
एक साल के भीतर भीतर छोड़ो यार, डूब गए, कुछ होगा नहीं। अरे भगवान बचाए भाई, पता नहीं पिछले जन्म में क्या पाप किए कि हम हिंदुस्तान में पैदा हुए। यही जो मनोभाव था, उसमें से आज दुनिया कह रही है कि विश्व का सबसे तेज गति से आगे बढ़ने वाला कोई देश है, उस देश का नाम हिंदुस्तान है मेरे देशवासियों।
All right, let's quickly cut across live now to Smita Sharma, who joins us for more on this story. Morning, Smita. It's pretty clear that this seems to be a case where the opposition has decided that it is going to question Narendra Modi for repeatedly bringing domestic politics on an international platform. Even if he is addressing the Indian community, why raise issues of domestic politics, which the world over is not done? At least at an international platform, leaders show a united front. They leave domestic politics back home. This has been a criticism of the Prime Minister, but it seems that the Prime Minister is very unrelenting as far as this criticism is concerned.
Well, good morning, Sanket, and all our viewers there. And clearly, Sanket, as you mentioned, of course, remember, this is to be first and foremost, in fact, this is not a slip of the tongue as far as the Prime Minister is concerned. These are calculated messages. The Prime Minister has seen through all these messages, and, he's repeated them everywhere in all the countries that he has visited so far, starting from, of course, Japan to US to Canada, where he's hailed the Indian diaspora as brand ambassadors of the country. But Narendra Modi clearly, in fact, came back home to this disturbing Twitter trend, Modi insults India, which was trending not just on the India Twitter map side, but also globally, really. Perhaps a lot of those congressmen also, or the other opposition figures, in fact, tweeting as well. But questions are being raised, Sanket, because remember, at the end of the day, when Mr. Narendra Modi says that, he's right in saying that, yes, the image of India was tainted with scams, when he perhaps refers to UPA too. But then when he says that Indians so far have all been ashamed, that is the first time that they're feeling proud, he is dismissing off perhaps the achievements of even the BJP government in the past, led by Mr. Vajpayee, which was in power for 13 days, 13 months, and of course that 5-year full-fledged term for the NDA government. So these are questions that are being raised for the opposition, because this of course coincides with the first anniversary of the Modi government as well, Sanket.
Absolutely. Smita, do stay on with us. In fact, yesterday with close to 89,000 tweets, this was obviously the top trending topic. But today, as I look at Twitter is actually a world which, is like volcanic eruption. One day you have something trending and the other day it's out of the charts completely. So today people are tweeting about some Gappu in India and Kejriwal versus LG and some Nubia phone launch, and nobody's talking about Modi insulting India. But the Congress has made a big issue or a big deal out of this. Let's now cut across back live to Smita. Smita, as we were mentioning earlier, if you look at the Twitter trends, I mean, issues, they live by the day and die by the end of the day. And that seems to be the case as far as Modi insults India is concerned, because today, Gappu in India, Kejriwal versus LG, CSK versus MI, Jazba, Nubia launch, suddenly all the issues have actually changed. But it almost appears that the Congress is not willing to follow Twitter. They are planning to continue raising this particular issue. Just take us through the political strategy from here on as far as attacking Narendra Modi is concerned. Will they play party pooper for Narendra Modi's anniversary celebrations?
Well, Sanket, clearly Twitter is much like the newsroom, where news moves like really fast and the cycles keep changing. But for the Congress, this is an opportune moment, in fact, to build on. And in fact, it's interesting because the news channels will have a lot to follow in the days to come. We have Narendra Modi, in fact, who will be chairing a cabinet meeting today. That meeting will be underway now shortly at 7 RCR because while the government will be, of course, tying up all the loose ends and all the going through its program as to how it celebrates that first anniversary in power. There is a couple of items that the government has listed out. Mr. Modi, or in fact Mr. Jaitley, was perhaps earlier expected to release that booklet called Saal Ek Shuruaat Anek, trying to harp on the government's multiple achievements. Also, the Modi government's in fact diktat to all his ministers and MPs over the next few days till 8th of June. We'll see some 100 rallies across the country. All these people fanning out really with the messages, perhaps trying to hail the Prime Minister's schemes, including the social security schemes or the Dhan Jan Yojana. On the other hand, the Congress also upping the ante clearly. The powerful, in fact, leaders from the opposition also doing those press conferences. Those who were invisible for all these months since the Congress's defeat last year parliamentary elections. But we saw Abhishek Manu Singhvi address a press conference. Yesterday it was Kapil Sibal and also Rahul Gandhi, clearly trying to build on this momentum. They will be attacking the government and they will continue, in fact, will this offensive as well for the next few days.
Right, Smita, many thanks for joining us at this moment.